Racing to the 2025 Kentucky Derby, and let's get an update on the speed figures and the latest news on the Triple Crown Trail. The Virginia Derby going to be this Saturday. That field has been drawn. We've got a preview up of the Virginia Derby and the Virginia Oaks right here on the channel. Speed figures update. Week number 2, we add in Owen Almighty and some of the other runners, Chancellor McPatrick. Take a look at a recent allowance winner, Praetor, at Gulfstream Park and Flood Zone. He's going to be making a road trip here in the next few weeks to UAE Derby. But let's start off Gulfstream Park on Sunday, the 3-year-old debut of Praetor, trained by Chad Brown. The reason why this was news was because he had defeated Sovereignty in a maiden race last year. Praetor bet down to the big favorite, pulled away down the stretch. This was a nice race, kind of attacked the leader, and then on the turn got the lead, drew off down the lane. He's another one by Into Mischief. What a crop he's got this year. He's got a lot of runners, and he defeated Sovereignty last year. Now, early indications, not necessarily a Derby horse. He might go to the Bluegrass. He may go to the Lexington Stakes and then start to train towards the Preakness Stakes. Now, the Virginia Derby post positions were drawn. The latest news, John Hancock has been scratched. He is now going to run in the Louisiana Derby, and that means the favorite in the race is going to be Getaway Car for trainer Bob Baffert. Also entered Omaha, Authentic Gallop, and Rapture in that field of 9 horses on Saturday. Now, Citizen Bull continues to work out. He could be one of the co-favorites in the Santa Anita Derby. He's the 2-year-old juvenile champion. Worked out 6 furlongs on Sunday. I thought one of his better workouts of the spring. And I still go back to his maiden win, powerful victory. You know, his late pace ratings are good. We're going to talk about those. His speed figures are good. And he seems to be training forwardly. Now, Flood Zone, the recent Gotham winner, he is going to be going to the UAE Derby. He is going to pass on the Wood Memorial. Now, the UAE Derby has a big purse, and the owner of Flood Zone is Middle East base. So Flood Zone going over for the UAE Derby. That's got a long stretch. He won't be able to use Lasix. That's a lot of variables. Usually once they're in America, if they ship over there, kind of hard to come back for that Kentucky Derby. But he does have the points for Flood Zone. Wanted to take another look back at the Tampa Bay Derby. You know, that first turn was kind of a tricky sequence. Brodeur came out, kind of floated Patch Adams wide. So let's watch this in slow-mo. You see the 4 come out of the gate, and he kind of rides straight ahead, which in that middle of the track going into the turn, that keeps Patch Adams wide. So Patch Adams had to check, kind of allowed a big gap of racing room towards the inside for Owen Almighty to really secure that position, but it also guaranteed that that opening quarter would be a slow quarter. Of course, Owen Almighty going on to the big victory. No decision for a few weeks if he's going to go to the Pat Day Mile or the Kentucky Derby next. Now, we're talking about speed figures, starting to look at the top contenders. Remember, the fastest horse doesn't always win. We're looking for horses to slowly improve and looking at their speed figure development on the Brisnet scale. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about late pace ratings. And one of the things here, late pace ratings, what it does is how fast a horse can finish. And there's some different patterns. If they go slow early, they'll run very fast late. And if they go fast early, they'll run slow late. Now, a good pace rating is 95 or better on a late pace rating, especially what you're looking for is a development where they kind of pair up the front half to the back half. So a 95-95 is better than 90 early and a 100 late. So we're going to take a look at some of the top races on the trail so far. Now, Sand Devil in the Gotham, he had a 92 late pace rating. Burnham Square in the Holy Bull, he had a 100 late pace rating. Kind of dropped down to a 95 in that Fountain of Youth. But we wanted to take a look here at Sovereignty and Journalism. Sovereignty, a 103 late pace rating in the Fountain of Youth. Of course, he came from behind his first start of the year. And then Journalism, he had a 113 late pace rating in that San Felipe. Of course, Barnes with a 104, he ran second in that San Felipe. Now, other ones to keep an eye on, Coal Battle, you know, he's right where he needs to be. He had a 99 late pace rating in the Smarty Jones. Of course, that was a slow pace early, so he came home fast. Then in the Southwest, he got a 93 speed figure, actually in the Rebel Stakes, coming home and winning that one. So then you've also got John Hancock. You know, he didn't really come home that fast in the Sam F. Davis in 88, so we'll see how he does on the stretch out next week in the Louisiana Derby. Poster with a 93 in the Sam F. Davis, but he is going to be running next week in the Jeff Ruby. And then Owen Almighty, here's an example. He had a 108 late pace rating, but they went really slow early, so that allowed him to save his energy and come home fast late in the late pace rating for the Tampa Bay Derby. So those are just a look at some of the late pace ratings. Now, what you're looking at for next is overall speed figures, and you're looking at horses to get a new top as we get closer in some of these stakes races, and then try to pair that up or improve in the Kentucky Derby. Now, remember, a pair is when they run within a couple of points back to back, and let's take a look at that. You've got River Thames. He got a 99 in both his second and third start, so maybe he can improve at his next start like the Bluegrass. Sand Devil, he kind of paired up his 97, so I think we could see him improve a little bit in the Wood Memorial. Chancer McPatrick, his first start of 2025, a 91. I think he could improve on that in his next race, either the Bluegrass or the Wood Memorial. And then Hill Road. You know, remember, he had a 101 Brisnet speed figure in that third place effort in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He starts off this year with an 87. He had a good gallop out. I could see him improving in that next start. Coal Battle, he went from an 82 to a 98, so he's sitting on a career top effort. And that is probably one of the reasons why they may want to train up to the Kentucky Derby. John Hancock improved in start number 2 from an 88 to a 97. He could be sitting on a nice pattern. If he can match up that 97 to 100 in the Louisiana Derby, that could put him in with a chance to win there. So what you're looking for is horses to pair up and slowly improve up to that 100-point mark. Of course, Journalism with that 104, that was a new career high, and it was his first race of 2025. Now, we also want to look at days rest. Remember, horses can improve. 3-year-olds improve with time off between 40 to 60 days. So you can see horses develop after taking a quick break. Now, here's some of the things I'm noticing. You know, Burnham Square, he's never really had a rest. He had a 35-day gap, a 28-day gap. He may be a little bit over the top. That may be why he regressed a little bit in his last start. Another one is Sandman. Now, if you notice, they haven't been working him out as much, mainly because, you know, they put him on 35 days, 43 days. He improved. The last race, he only had a 29-day gap. So they're trying to just keep that development going with Sandman. Journalism had a nice break, 77-day gap. Chancer McPatrick now, he had a break, 127 days. Now he's going to run on about a 40-day gap and then right around 30 days for the Kentucky Derby. So we'll see how these horses develop on their day's rest pattern. The Louisiana Derby field starting to shape up. You've got Built, Hypnus, John Hancock, Vasimo, Caldera, and Chunk of Gold. The Jeff Ruby, we're looking at California Burrito, Curvino, Charlie's to Blame, and Poster. That'll be a field of 10 or 11. The Bluegrass, it looks like we've got East Avenue, Burnham Square, possibility of Disruptor, and maybe Praetor and Chancer McPatrick. That's a grade 1. That should be a good race opening weekend at Keeneland. The Wood Memorial, we're looking at Statesman, Hill Road, and the possibility of Grande. If he doesn't go in the Florida Derby, he'll probably go to the Wood Memorial. The Virginia Derby preview is up. Make sure to watch that on the channel. Points races continue. We've got the Jeff Ruby and the Louisiana Derby. Then we go into that final round of preps, the Wood Memorial, Bluegrass, and Santa Anita Derby. Triple Crown Prospectus every Monday through the Belmont Stakes. Sign up below. We focus on the 3-year-olds, over 500 weekly readers of the prospectus. What did you think of some of the late pace ratings? Sovereignty, Journalism, leave a comment. What do you like to look at for late pace ratings and factoring in how they run late in their races? And remember, D. Wayne Lucas always says, people have opinions, horses have the facts.